The Flash issue 59, Joshua Williamson writing, Rafa Sandoval on the art. This is the next part of this second Force. Well, actually, this is the first Force Quest story, but like
Right.
this and the last one I felt really linked together. The last few I felt linked together rather. But this is they're in Gorilla City, and
Yep.
there's been murder. Now we find out that a lot of the city did evacuate. So it's not like they're all, the whole city
Which
worth of
that's
gorillas
good.
dead. Yeah.
But we
'Cause
know
we-
that
we
after
need
the
our
invasion.
gorillas.
Yes.
Yeah,
We need
well-
gorillas for later. That's important.
Well, after the invasion, though, it feels like Gorilla City is kind of thin, as it is after what we saw in Flash earlier. With the Force Storm and whatnot. So I like that they explained that here, too.
Yeah.
So
So obviously Barry wants to investigate, and he feels guilty for not coming back, and it hints to the past with Solivar and how Solivar was going to teach him about the forces. We find out in this, actually, when they see the hologram later on, that Solivar knew about the other forces, and we get this idea of the avatars of each force. And any comparison from before, that this was kind of like his different core, like the Green Lanterns have.
Yep.
This is kind of fitting right into that mold. It's like,
Yep.
because by the end of the book, we get this other the Strength Force avatar at the end.
Forza.
Forza, yeah. Who's she's got her own suit, she's got her own symbol, so it's like kind of a triple.
She's tapped into it.
Triple peak thing.
Kind of like how Barry did with the Flash suit. Like it just kind of appeared. I imagine the same happened with her. That she's just kind of, I don't want to say destined, but kind of how the Speed Force called out to Barry, maybe the Strength Force called out to her.
Yeah. So they get attacked by some gorillas that turn out to be robots, and then
that was cool.
Some scientists, scientist gorillas specifically, just to be that clear, take them into the lab, and
We're like, oh,
you know how they're
Flash.
scientists?
Sorry about that.
they got lab coats on, Matt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I loved it. I was getting Planet of the Apes vibes for a second, and I got a little bit worried, and I was like, oh no, okay. This is fine.
It's the eyepieces as well.
Yeah.
That really does it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I love when they get into the gorillas and their whole foundation of their society is the Speed Force, but in a different way, where it is reminiscent of the Force in Star Wars. Because it's this thing that they're aware of, but they,
And they kind of worship it, but they don't
Yeah, they kind of
necessarily have control.
Exactly. I don't want to say they don't interact with it, because they kind of do. Like we've seen
They do
Rod
at
do
points.
things.
Some of them do.
Yeah, but it's never like, I do want a Gorilla Speedster at one point, kind of how we had at the beginning.
How have we not got one?
I don't know, but I need it.
They'll have 'em.
Yeah.
It will. Give it time.
Williamson, if you're listening, please.
This is
the fastest ape alive.
Huh?
What's that ape?
Fastest simian alive.
Fastest simian alive. There you go.
I mean, if you remember, the next step after expanding out to the other core is, well, we need to double up on members.
Yeah, that's true.
But see, I don't. So while I'm getting Green Lantern vibes, I don't feel like a lot of these are going to be around for a while. I feel like they're
getting a cross between Green Lantern and then the Avatar stuff. The Swamp Thing and the Animal Man.
Yeah. And so while I feel like they'll be there, I don't feel like they're going to be the same. Where we're going to be interacting with them a lot, because looking how what Salazar had said, like they are meant to look after the multiverse. Right?
Yeah. Because it also meant because the hologram cuts out, and then at the end we hear the scientists say that, hey, why didn't you tell him everything about the forces? And it's like, oh, he's not ready yet. So there's more to learn. There's more stuff going on. I do actually really like the sequence where they call Commander Cold to get energy readings, because he's got future tech, or he knows how to read them because he's from the future.
Oh, and you know who he's fighting?
I forget. Who is he fighting?
Razor. Razor, which doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people, but Razor was the villain Wally was fighting in the very first issue of the Flash I ever bought when I was 8 years old.
All right, okay. That's why it's so important.
I saw him, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, this is cool.
I mean,
like, it made me very happy.
I'm liking Commander Cole's sort of relationship with both Barry and Iris now. I think it's fun. I also like that he seems to be working with Detective Burns back in Central City.
Yeah.
It's Williamson creating that supporting cast again.
Yeah.
He for every character we don't see, like Godspeed. What was his name?
August.
August, we get someone new to replace them, whether it's Commander Cold or Burns or who was the cop that he was working with at Iron Heights? He isn't what I mean.
Oh god, I'm blanking on her name now.
I want to say Kate.
Kristen. That is Kristen.
Kristen. There you go.
You were there with the K.
Yeah. So it was just, I like it all. And then these villains in Gemini, they kind of annoyed me in the first issue, but I kind of like how they operate here. It might just because they're giving me pulpy Indiana Jones grave robbers.
Yeah, I wasn't really feeling them.
But I kind of like them here.
What a surprise! Connor didn't like something.
No, I didn't like them. I like most of the stuff in the issue. I didn't really like those.
Well, I
two.
like how the gorillas go, hey, it's the ones that attacked, and they go, no, we'd love to take credit for this, but this isn't us. So
which is a good point. We have no idea who killed the gorillas.
No.
Because Barry's convinced it's Grodd, but then the scientist's like, no, there's no way it was him.
No, and I like how he said the warrior gorillas are still on his side, so they would just let him in. There's no, you know.
Yeah.
What we need
interesting.
is we need a mini-series exploring ape politics.
And we do.
Sure, I'll take it.
Give me Congorilla in there, too. Give me Congo Bill. Oh.
Why not?
So, yeah, now, I mean, Gemini, I think, are alright. I'm liking the idea of them hunting the Flash around the world. Like, they're like, chasing after him. I like that. And I like the reveal at the end of the Strength Force avatar, whatever her name's going to end up being.
That's Forza.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, I mean, but I mean, like, in the way of the Flash, like...
Character name.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I think it is.
Yeah, I thought that was.
Because,
you think Forza's just our hero name, or for lack of a better term?
Yeah, because in Spanish, because they're Corto Maltese,
does it mean
which is in the
force?
Caribbean.
Something along those lines.
And fuerte is the word for strong, so that
oh, okay.
That base is there with fuer. So Fuerza, and it goes with Flash. It's got the alliteration, you know.
They're all going to begin with F somehow. Just you watch.
I'm wondering how they do that, because we know that the Stealth Force Grodd's tapped into. So I'm wondering how they do that one, because I don't necessarily think Grodd's going to be the avatar for that.
No.
Or even the Turtle Baby, you know?
Okay. You think we'll get someone else?
I don't know. I wonder how they're going to touch on that, because Williamson's pretty key in there with Snyder and Tynion. So, you know.
No, that's true.
You know, he knows what the plans are.
It'll be called the Halt.
The Halt.
Yes. Because you halt. When he decides...
I get it.
When he decides it, when he wills it, you halt.
See,
we
I want
understand, we just don't like it.
Well, no, that's fine. You got to make him look like Juggernaut, though. He's got to be this big, bulky, you know, just like stop of a man, like a doorstop.
Which is actually, I think it's interesting that the Strength Force avatar isn't big and bulky. Remember when Trickster and Flash were infected with it?
Somehow in Sandoval's art is less bulky than Flash.
Well, no, and I think that's fine, because I feel like it's not just physical strength.
No,
it's going to be emotional
gravity
strength.
manipulation, isn't it? Yeah.
And it's gravity manipulation as well. So I feel when we get her origin, it's going to be like, because Corto Maltese is constantly in a civil war, that she's had the strength to persevere, whatever side she's on.
Yeah.
You know? So,
I like that Barry pointed out that he was here earlier. Like, I like that callback back when he was stopping that Rogues mission.
Yeah, that was fun.
I know so many people have so many issues with this book, but I just don't see it. I don't know if it's I'm such a Flash fan that it's checking all these boxes. I'm just too close to it. But it's just, this is an all-time run.
Yeah, I've been digging it. I think since Perfect Storm, which was the one right before Flash War, I think since then, I liked it before then as well, but I think since then it's been especially good.
It feels like one long cohesive story. Like, everything's had payoff, and that's how I like my arcs. Like, again, I came up under John's, reading his stories, and they did that a lot. His Teen Titans, his Flash, his Green Lantern. You don't get that too much anymore because there's so much shifting.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the shifting's annoying. I like a good long run.
I agree. Also, just seriously, can we get Sandoval off Flash? I don't mind Sandoval in other books, but his Flash is ugly.
I would agree that his Flash is the weakest part of the art in this book. But
His
Which is
Flash
kind of
looks
problematic
fat.
when it's
Yeah.
the Flash.
but
Yeah,
everyone else, the gorillas, all that stuff, all looks quite good.
No, that's why I
Iris.
say just get him off the Flash. I don't want him off all books because I like him on other stuff. It's just his Barry, he has such a bulky body. He has a fat face. Like
Connor's made the editor of Flash, and he just like, Sandoval, you're writing now. Well, I don't write. Yeah, well, you don't draw either, so you're out of here.
no. Just go do another book where, because we've seen him be perfectly good elsewhere. Never usually a standout artist, but usually, solid, consistent, reliable.
It
And
doesn't bother me
everything
much.
in this book, except the Flash, is still pretty good.
I'm just so into the story, the art's not bothering me that much. I mean, I get where you're coming from. But
There are panels of Barry's face that it looks like he's had an allergic reaction. He's swollen up.
Well, don't get me wrong, I'm looking forward to Collins and Porter being back on the book and whoever else, but yeah.
G. Domenico.
Yeah.
Oh, I miss him on Flash.
Yeah.
It was the best.
He seems like he's doing the other stuff though, because he did like 2 or 3 issues of Tech there, so it's like he was
He did,
properly
yeah.
on that for a little bit. So yeah, let's rate the book. Matt, what are you giving Flash?
8.5. Thoroughly enjoyed this one.
Connor.
Give it a 7.5.
I will give it a straight 8.
Oh, look at that.